So the second unit is all about classes. Okay, it's all about.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, you gave me only 10 marks. I did not copy all the program.
So today we are starting with the second unit. Okay, then. So by far you have used classes, so you know what a class is. Yes, the class is at the core of Java. It is the logical construct upon which the entire Java language is built, because it defines the shape and nature of an object. As I said already, by now you have understood what a class is. So class is basically a kind of a template. Okay, it describes the object, how and what, how an object should be, or what an object should look like. Okay, so the basic description of an object belongs to a class. Okay, so it basically, class is a description of an object. It defines the shape and nature of an object. As such, the class forms the basis for object oriented programming in Java. Okay, any concept you wish to implement in a Java program must be encapsulated within a class. Encapsulated means enclosed. Okay, so any concept and whatever, whatever logic, whatever concept you wish to implement in your program, that must be enclosed within the class. Okay, so we will understand encapsulation better. Anyways, let's start with the class fundamentals. The most important thing to understand about a class is that it defines a new data type. Once defined, this new type can be used to create objects of that type. So basically, you see, class. Okay, class is actually one type of, it is kind of a new data type. Okay, it is one kind of a data type, and it can be used to create objects of that type, just as we use data types for different variables. Yes, we have different types of variables. So how do you declare it? Int a. So what is int a? A is a variable of type integer. So similarly, class can also be considered as one kind of a data. Okay, so it is one new kind of a data type, and with this data type we can declare, we can create objects, we can declare objects. Okay, and objects can be thought of as variables of type class. Fine, objects can be thought of as variables of type class. So class acts as one new type of data, and object is a variable of class type. Fine. Now, thus a class is a template for an object, and an object is an instance of a class. Because an object is an instance of a class, you will often see the two words object and instance used interchangeably. Okay, so wherever you get this word instance, don't get confused. Instance means object, object means instance. Okay, so these two can be used interchangeably. Okay, now we directly look at the general form of a class. Okay, so this is how a class looks like. We have already done many programs using class. Fine, so this is how actually a class looks like, starting with the class keyword followed by the class name. Okay, so this will be a class name. You can have any name. Okay, then the open the open the braces, and inside which you will have the body. Okay, the description. In the description section, what will you have? You will have data that we, okay, that means the variables, or more specifically you will have instance variables. Instance variables means these are those variables that belongs to an object. Okay, object properties. So inside the class we will have the object properties, okay, which we also call instance variable. Sometimes we also call them data members. So please don't get confused. You can call them instance variables also. You can call them data members also. Fine. Followed by a list of methods. Methods means procedures or functions. Okay. That will manipulate or work on these data members. Fine. So this is how we write a class. Okay, this is how a class looks like. You have a class keyword followed by the class name, followed by the body, and the body comprises of the description of all the properties that belongs to an object. Okay, so these will be the properties of all the objects belonging to this class, and the methods that will manipulate these data members or variables. Fine. And accordingly you will have different data types for the variables, data type, then return types for the methods. Okay, then since these are functions, so therefore they will have some body. Okay, so you will have the method definition here. Okay, so this is how a class looks like. Next, say the data or variables defined inside within a class are called the instance variables. The code is contained within methods, so implementation is always inside the methods. Okay, the implementation is always inside these methods. Okay, and collectively the methods and variables defined within a class are called the members of the class. So the data that belongs to the class and the functions or methods within the class together, we call them as members of the class. Okay, and since we are talking about enclosing variables and functions inside a class, this concept, this feature is known as encapsulation. Encapsulation means to wrap up together, to enclose something together. Okay, encapsulation. You have seen capsules. Yes, it's a medicine that we most of us have it. So this is one kind of a capsule you can see. So this capsule is actually like a class. Okay, if you if you open it, the actual medicine is inside. If you see this small if you see all these inside, so these are the medicines inside. Okay, so here this outer line can be thought of as the class. Okay, this cover can be thought of as the class, this part can be thought of as the methods, and this can be thought of as the variables. Okay, you combine the methods with the variables. Okay, and then this becomes a class. Okay, and also there the capsule inside will have different compositions. Okay, they will have different compositions. Yes, so depending on that, however, ultimately it is one capsule. Okay, irrespective of what composition it contains, okay, what medicines it has got, okay, it is ultimately one capsule. So this is one class which is actually enclosing some methods inside and some variables inside it. So this is actually the concept, from this actually the concept of encapsulation has been derived even in Java. Fine. So this is one, feature of object oriented programming. So we have learned two features till now, one feature till now, which is class. Okay, now we'll be covering what object is. That is the second feature of object oriented programming. Third is encapsulation, which is very important, that we have covered now. Okay, however, we will be discussing all the features in the next class properly. Okay, first it's important to understand class and objects better. Okay, in most cases the instance variables are acted upon and accessed by the methods defined for that class. Thus, as a generic rule, it is the methods that determine how a class's data can be used. So since you have different data inside your class, that means the variables, okay, you have different variables inside your class, and these are your methods. So the methods will describe how your variables can be manipulated. Okay, how your variables can be manipulated and used in the program. These methods will be accessing these variables. Okay, making use of its variables while implementation. Okay, okay, next, variables defined within a class are called instance variables because each instance of the class, instance means object, contains its own copy of these variables. Thus, the data for one object is separate and unique from the data for another object. Okay. So what does it mean is, since we have mentioned here instance variables, I already said instance variables means these are variables of objects. Okay. So we have a group of objects with similar properties. Okay. So what we do is we retrieve all the similar properties of those objects and we place it inside the class. So these are actually object variables, not class variables. Okay. But we have described them inside the class based on the similarity. Okay. So what happens is, when, as you all know, this is just a description. It has got no physical existence. It will have physical existence only if you start creating objects of this class. Okay. So it will have existence only if you start object. That means you start implementing the objects. You create objects, only then you will have a proper implementation of your, class. Okay. So what happens is, say you have created an object of this class. Okay. Then the variables will be say you have two objects for your class. So for each of these two objects, the values of these variables will be different. For example, as I say, suppose you have a roll number and name inside one class. Okay. So that is the class student, inside which you have roll number and name. Okay. So these are instance variables. Now, suppose I want to implement it. Then how will I implement it? By creating objects of this class. Okay, so I have created two objects. I have created two student objects. Okay, student 1 and student 2. Now for student 1, roll number and name will be different. For student 2, roll number and name will be different. Okay. So for every object created for a particular class, the values of the instance variables will be different. And that is how, one object becomes unique. Each object is unique from one another. Okay. Thus, the data for one object is separate and unique from the data for another. So, till here it is clear. We will see object creation now. So, till here is it clear? Do you have any doubts till here?
Methods are functions, ma'am.
Yes, methods are functions. Functions, procedures, whatever you call. These are those functions that will make use of the variables, class variables. Manipulate them. Any doubt? Anyone else?
Ma'am, encapsulation means